Alright, so some of you guys have been asking for an auto hockey tutorial. So here I made a little outline so that I don't get sidetracked. So first let's show you guys how to download auto hockey. We're going to be talking about version 1.1, mainly because version 2 is way harder to script in. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've used both of them. Version 2.2 is just harder. So you're just going to go here, type in auto hockey. Click on the first link, it's going to bring you here. Click download. And then you're gonna do the 1.1 version, and I already have it, so I'm not gonna download it again. But once you do download it, just basically open it, and then you can pretty much close it again. You don't need to follow any more installation stuff that it talks about. So once you have downloaded it, go over to settings here, and then search up auto hockey. And if you have downloaded it, it should be right here, auto hockey dash. You can just click it, and it opens this menu. So you can see I have it here. If you right click, you should press pin to taskbar. This will make it super easy to open. So whenever you want to open it, you can just click here and sit. So main thing that we need to open from here is just Windows Spy. So click on Windows Spy. This is like the most important tool in here, and it'll make your life so much easier. You basically need it. Okay, next up, open, oh yeah, okay, I did that. Open Notes app and make a new auto hockey script. Everyone has the Notes app. Just click Notepad in here, and then you can find it. So yeah, Notes, and then open a new one if you haven't. It's untitled currently. Just press Ctrl S, and you can see untitled. So you just call it anything. I'm gonna call it video script. Try not to have any spaces because it might be confusing. And now this part is important. You're gonna put .ahk. This will make it a script. So boom, save. Now what you'll realize is if you open this here and go into downloads, you'll see video script, and it has this icon beside it. If your icon does not look like mine, if it's not green, then it means you have a version, you add version 2 auto hockey if it looks white. So make sure it's version 1 here. And if you ever lose it, let's say I accidentally close this, I'm like, oh shoot, where did it go? Then you can just go over here and drag it into your Notes app like that. Boom. And then, yeah, now we have our script open. I didn't double click it yet, but before we open it, we want to make hotkeys. So the first hotkey that we're gonna make, this is super important, and it should be in every single script. I'm gonna use Alt-R, you guys can do the same. Talking about hotkeys here, so if you put, let's say you just put R here, and then we're gonna use the script reload. Reload basically reopens the script. So if you make any changes and you save it, then whenever you reload it, then it's basically just opens it again. So it saves your changes. This is so much easier, so you don't have to open your folder and double click every time. So okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open video script here. Now, as you can see, R is reload. This is what I have. Basically, if you put anything and 2 dots, then that makes a simple hotkey. Now, I call this a simple hotkey because it doesn't have a reload, and I'll show you guys what a different hotkey, a proper hotkey looks like. So what you'll realize is, here, I'm gonna close this. If you click on this arrow, it should pop up right there. And if it doesn't for some reason, when you double click on the folder, just reopen the folder and then it should work. So if we go over here and R is reload, whenever you click R, boom, you see it changes. So, well, it doesn't change, it just refreshes. So this makes your life way easier. You need this hotkey, by the way, everyone does. But what you'll realize is if you try and type R on here, it won't work anymore. R just does not work because you assigned it a hotkey. So we don't want any normal letter to be a hotkey because it could mess up your scripting when you're testing it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna explain something. If you combine, exclamation mark means alt. So if I put something like an exclamation mark behind R, right? Just like that, and then I press Ctrl S and then reload it, then what you realize is now whenever I press Alt R, then it reloads. Pretty cool, right? So what you need to remember is, let me just type this here. So another thing that I forgot to mention is if you put a semicolon and whatever you type after, it is not affected. So it basically comments out. So this isn't in the code. But if you were to remove this, then what you realize is whenever I try and reload it, it'll say there's an error because this is not AutoHotkey does not recognize this. But if you put a semicolon behind anything, then it's like, oh, we're not gonna look at this when we open the code, so it's not gonna have a problem. So I'm gonna put a little thing here, exclamation mark equals alt. So if you put an exclamation mark and then anything after, then that's what the hotkey is gonna be. Now, what if you want to use control? Control is this thing. This equals control. And you can also combine them. So we could put Control Alt R, and then we're gonna reload here. And then now, whenever we press Control Alt R, wait, Control Alt R. Oh, I don't think I saved that last time. Yeah, now whenever you press Control Alt R, then it works. But I don't like doing that, so I'm just gonna put Alt R. I use Alt R for all my reloads. I always do. Control S. Yeah, so remember that whenever you make any changes to your script, you need to press Control S and then this thing to reload it. So now that we have that out of the way, now let's talk about how to make a proper hotkey. So for our main script, let's use Alt S here. So I use Alt S because Alt S stands for start. Now to make a proper hotkey, it's gonna look like this: squiggly bracket, open, and then close, and you're gonna put return. So the reason why you need return here is pretty much what happens is whenever you run the script that's inside of here, the script is gonna go in here. So the script is gonna go in here, it'll run the script, and then return brings it back. So then you can run it multiple times with the same hotkey. But if you don't have return here, what will end up happening is it'll play the code under it, which you do not want to happen. So you need return right here. This is a must-have in making a hotkey. Okay, now let's see what I have next. So that's making hotkeys. And then next we have the sleep function. So this is one of the most important things. There's a lot of main functions that we want to use, but sleep is simple. It's just like this, a comma, and then the number you have after is milliseconds. So let me type this. So sleep, and the last number is milliseconds. Last number is milliseconds. So this would stop for 1 second because sleep 1000 is 1000 milliseconds. So this is used on almost anything to prevent delays. Whenever you have a hotkey, I always have a sleep function behind it, or like as my first line, because something that can happen is it can mess up your hotkey, which is a problem I've had when I first started doing AutoHotkey, and no other people warned me about it, so I'm telling you guys about it now. So yeah, sleep, really easy function. You have it between things. And another thing to point out is if you have two functions, like let's say you have two click functions and they don't have a sleep function in between it, it can actually mess each other up. So you basically need this before and after every single one. Okay, next up we have the click function. This is one of the most important things. So here we're gonna, let's just save and refresh this. Click. If you do a click just like that, then what will happen is it'll click on the spot. So we can actually test this out right here. I'm gonna press Ctrl S and Alt R. So if we click Alt S, what should happen is it should wait half a second and then it will click wherever my mouse is. So I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. So if I click Alt S, then it should minimize my Windows spy. And it does. Okay, so that's simple right there. It waits half a second and then does that. And just to show the sleep function working, let's change this to 2 seconds. So if it's at 2 seconds, we click Alt S, Alt R. I mean Control S, Alt R to refresh everything. And then, oh, I accidentally double clicked on this. So now if we press Alt S here, it'll wait 2 seconds and then boom, just like that. So yeah, and since we have this return here, we could do it again without refreshing the script. Just like that. So yeah, that's pretty much just a normal click, how that works. Now, something that is very important is we're gonna make it click on a specific thing now. So just to make this simple, we're gonna use the Notes app. So let's say that we wanted to click on this first line here. You do realize on our Windows spy over here, you're gonna see this section called mouse position. Now we have screen, we have window, we have client, and then we have the color. So right now, what we're gonna look at is window. You're gonna realize at the bottom it says hold Control or Shift to suspend updates. What I like to do is I put my mouse where I want it to go, I hold down Control, and then I select over the number in window, and then all I have to do is press C. Since I was holding down Control, then it copies everything, and then I put it right here, boom. Now, whenever I run the script, it'll wait 2 seconds, I'm gonna make it half a second. It'll wait half a second, and then it will make me select this first line of my code. So if let me just make another comment here. Control S, Control S, and then save script after any changes. Yeah, so whenever you make a change, press Control S, save it, and then you refresh with this Alt R. And now it should work. If I click Alt S, and then boom, it clicks on the top right there. So yeah, I think this is super cool. There's a lot more functions to click. So many more actually. Let me actually explain another thing that is important. Whenever you click into this, a separate window, you can see that the window number is different from the screen number. Here, let me show you. Like, between these two numbers, you realize that they're different. So window number is by default what you're going to be clicking by. So you want to use your window number, but let's say that I clicked into this window spy, you will realize that my window, oh wait, hold on, I don't think that works. Let's open Roblox actually. So let's wait for this to open. If I click on Roblox here, oh wait, that's not what I meant to do. But you will see that the number of window is different from the number of screen. So it clicks into that window. But if I'm accidentally in here and then I move to Roblox, you see that the window number is actually negative. So you never want that. Before you make a click thing, you need to make sure that you're inside the window, just like this. So yeah, and then next up, let's see what we have. We have send. Okay, this is super important. So we're gonna erase our click function now. Actually, no, we can keep it. So let's make a script to click on the search bar and then search something. So yeah, okay. Let's Control, just like we did before. Make sure you're in the window. Hover your mouse above where you want to click. Hold down Control. Select it. And then replace this. Control S, Alt R, save. Okay, now let's click into the window, press Alt S, and boom, it works. Okay, now let's close that. So send, let me erase this. What send does is it basically clicks on the letter. So your keyboard. Let's say we need to sleep here. Let's wait 2 seconds. And then we're gonna send. Let's search up a game. Girl Garden. I believe that works. So Control S, Alt R. And then this is optional, but I like having a sleep after too. It just ensures that it makes it doesn't overlap with the next one. So you click Alt S, Alt R, click into here, click Alt S, clicks into there, and then it searches up Girl Garden, just like that. And it's really quick too. So that's the send. It's really good. You can lower it down to 1 letter, which is what I usually do. But it does work with entire sentences too. Now you might be wondering, what happens if I want to click enter, just like I need to here? Because if I click enter here, then boom, it searches it up. So with asleep, let's make it another 2 seconds. And now it's the same with send. So what you realize with auto hotkey is you use a lot of squiggly brackets. So for anything like space, enter, and shift, you have to use a squiggly bracket and then type in the name of the thing. So now we have send enter. And now if we go back to the home page like this, and then click Alt S Alt R to save, Alt S, Girl Garden, and then it's gonna wait 2 seconds and then hit enter, just like that. Okay, so you might be wondering, for the send function, how do you know if you want to hold, let's say you want to hold down a letter. This is used to move in video games. So what you do is you put a squiggly bracket. Let's say you want to move forward, so W, and then you put down. So what this does is it presses the W key down. Now let's say I wait for 1 second, and then you can copy and paste this part, and now you switch the down part with up. Make sure you don't forget this up part. I've done it a couple times and it messes a lot of stuff up. Let's make this 2 seconds just to show you guys better. So if we click into the search bar and we click Alt S, then it will hold the W key down for 2 seconds, but it wasn't enough to hold it. So let me just change this to 10 to show you guys that it works. So Alt S, and it should hold it down for 10 seconds here. I don't think holding it down in the Roblox menu with the script will show it a ton of times, but it will move your character in game. So that is how you hold a button down. And I think that's it for send. You can also do stuff like scroll wheel, and I believe that's it. Yeah, there's other stuff like clicks. You can also do right clicks, but I will show that maybe in like a later video. And there are some other variations of these two as well that I will show later. But make functions, this video is getting pretty long, so I do want to shorten it a bit, so we gotta finish this up. So functions are pretty much if you're gonna repeat one piece of code over and over and over again, it's really useful to put it as a function. So let's say that we want to make a function to let's say we may want to make a function to type girl garden. So what are we gonna call this? Garden type. Did I spell that right? Yeah. So to make a function, you put open and then close normal bracket. Now you're gonna press a space and then put a squiggly bracket, and you're gonna put a squiggly bracket. This time you don't need return after it. This is because it is a function and it's not in a hotkey. So garden type, sleep 500, and then we're gonna send grow a garden, and then we're gonna sleep 500 again. Wait, let's do 1 second, and then let's send and enter. Alright, now let's control and save. So now garden type, this is our function. So if you copy and paste it with this little gap missing and then put it in here, it doesn't matter where this is. It can be above the hotkey or under it. I usually put everything under my hotkeys, and then Control S, Alt R, refresh everything. Now if we click into here, you do realize that the hotkey is attached to garden type and not to this script at all. But if we click Alt S, it will type in girl garden and then it will press enter, because this is the function. Now you could put it multiple times if you wanted to, like this, and then it will run this 4 times. Is pretty much what's happening. This lets you condense codes and makes everything like more organized. Now if you don't want to do it over and over again, let me show you guys loops. This wasn't in my original plan, but I might as well anyways. So what happens is loop, open brackets, loops need a bracket. So we put loop, we need an extra bracket. Now let me show you guys what happens if you don't have that extra bracket. you'll see it says missing bracket. Now, that's why we need it. But another thing that can be problematic is, let's say we have two functions together, and let's call this garden type 2. Let's say that you're missing this bracket here. It'll say garden type 2 functions cannot contain functions. Now, I don't know why this says this, but you might think garden 2, oh shoot, I need to fix garden 2. But then you look at garden 2 and you realize there's nothing wrong with it. If you ever see something, this error, functions cannot contain functions, and then you see garden type 2, you find the function, look at the function and then look right above it. It means that the function above it has a bracket missing. This problem took me like an hour and a half to fix the first time that I came to it, because I had no idea what was wrong. So we're gonna remove this enter on garden type 1 just to show you guys that it loops. So with a loop, you put a bracket and a close bracket, and then it surrounds everything that you need. Now the thing is, this will run garden type over and over and over again. But if you only want to loop it twice, you just put a number like that. Really easy, right? Control S, Alt R, go into here, and then all you do is press Alt S, and then what you realize is it'll repeat girl garden and then girl garden twice. But let's say we make it 10 times, and we reduce this delay to 500. Now if we press Alt S, refresh it, and then Alt S, it'll then repeat it 10 times, and with all the sleeps, it'll repeat it 10 times in 1 second. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I should probably say this is episode 1. Now this is basically the very basics. I wasn't planning on making this video super long, but pretty good for episode 1, am I right? Now episode 2, I do want to do a lot more stuff. I can show you guys advanced clicks. Let's do yeah, let's do mouse positions. We can also do color detection, and we could talk about window resizing too. That should be enough. We could also talk about some advanced sends too. We could put that. Actually, I want it here. Advanced sends. So yeah, I guess that's kind of it. Wait, what did I remove for that? Let me see. Mouse position. Yeah. Okay, another thing that I forgot to mention is, I assume most of you guys know this, but Control Z undoes stuff. So let's say that I type this thing. If I press Control Z, it disappears. If I accidentally delete something, I press Control Z and it comes back. Now let's say that I want to redo my undo. So let's say I delete this, I press Control Z, but then I realize, oh wait, I shouldn't have refreshed it. If you press Control Y, it'll undo it. If you guys really enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want, or if you have any big questions, something's wrong, then you could join my Discord in the description and just DM me or put it in the questions channel. And yeah, that's it.